All right, this is maybe one of my most happy days here on the couch, okay? I've been pulling for doing some sort of activity like this for a while. Ultimate creative activity together, okay?
Games in a game studio?
You better believe it, okay? Today we're doing something that I'm going to call Live Lore with Orange Nebula, okay? So I've got a little introduction, and let me just talk through what we're doing. So generally speaking, we like our games to empower players to tell their own stories, right? We have enough lore and enough world building to make everything make sense. But what that means is that there's sometimes elements that don't have any lore built into them because we want people to tell their own stories about the elements inside the game. And so that's what we're going to do today, okay? We're going to pull up some cards from Vindication that don't have like a pre-built story to them, and we're just gonna riff on it together, just like we would hope that people would be doing with their own game. So nothing that we're saying right now is like the truth of Vindication. It's just fun.
It's only canon if you like it.
Yeah.
All right? Just like everything else.
But I bet this will sound a lot like the brainstorming meetings that we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind the curtain.
Exactly as productive, I'm sure.
Okay, so Justin has curated a slew of cards, and he's just gonna pull them up on a screen here. We'll describe what we're looking
And
at.
if you are listening and not watching this, Jared's going to do his very best to describe to you what we're talking about.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it. There we go.
All right, so
All
we are
right.
looking at a strength companion from Vindication. His name is Drokk, the Stone Whisperer. He is at least 8 feet tall, rivaling the largest of bodybuilders. He has a red loincloth. He has a red helmet. He's carrying these large boulders, and compared to the scale of the trees behind him, I'd reckon he's at least 10 or 12 feet tall.
Yeah, he's
And
a big guy.
he's like suck lick whispering to one of the
Yeah,
stones.
he is. Like, his mouth is on
It's
the
really
stone.
ambiguous what he's doing to the stone, and I feel like that says a lot about him.
Let's talk about what he's doing with the stones. Does anybody have any ideas?
Okay, so Stone Whisperer. So, I mean, those are big stones. So he's able to, like, hold them and pull them up. Is that why we're calling him the Whisperer? Because he can, like, do whatever he wants with as large of stone.
I feel like it's more than that. I feel like he wants to do whatever he wants with the stones, and that's a big part of it.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
He is a boulder rock gardener, and
Okay.
he makes really beautiful rock mossy topiaries. And
That's beautiful.
he will take these big stones and he'll knock on them, and he'll hear the sound that they make. And then, like an inverse opera singer, he'll be like, "Rrr," and make the sound back at the stone, causing it to like destabilize.
To what effect?
In order to like break chunks off to make
Ooh,
stone.
hit a certain frequency.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In order to like mold the stone.
And then
into
does he know
statues and
like
stuff.
where they need to go in the world and stuff, like because of their frequency?
I mean,
like does the stone have desire?
That makes it a quest. I was thinking it was a quest for beauty, but we could totally do
Yeah,
it
because
like
he was
it's
saying
important for the
it,
world.
like, almost, carved it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
like,
not-
the frequency, like, cut pieces off.
So with that intimacy with the stone,
Mm-hmm.
is there a level to where this is sort of icky, or is it
I mean,
purely beautiful?
I don't think he has a significant other.
I don't think
Yeah, I
it
don't think
needs
he
to
does
look as
either.
gross as he makes it look. I feel like he could do
He
it
leans
in a
into
cleaner
it.
way.
You try to convince us that there's not something something happening here, Mark.
Well, he is doing the stone's bidding.
Oh.
I like to think that
Oh, you're
the stones
reversing the control.
the stones have been given one conduit to a living sentient being, and they can communicate. And Drokk won that lottery, and
Yeah,
now
he did. He's
and
the
now
right guy.
because of his strength is able to kind of, he is the strongest apparently. So they have chosen him, and he basically is doing, what he must.
Please tell everyone else that all the rocks are alive.
Now
Stop breaking us.
there is some symbiotic relationship there, but
They want to be taken to the place where they get to, like, have the best moss grow on them.
That's a fun idea.
sometimes he complains. I can tell, maybe it's not an endearing situation all the time.
But I think he complains about them like you would complain about like a significant other. Like
Oh, I love these
like
rocks.
no
I'll
one else
never
can
leave them.
but no one else can complain about them that way. Only he can. Like he'll do it, but if you do it, he's going to be mad at you.
Because he still, like, has strong feelings.
He
for
only
the rocks.
complains when the relationship is on the rocks.
Oh my gosh. And
Come on.
done.
Next.
All right, so the next card is a yellow inspiration companion. So these are the Zharyan? These are the Zharyan Sisters. We have 3 identical triplets on a amber grassy beach with some mountains in the background. There appears to be some sort of stone formation behind them, and they are all looking wistfully in the distance like there is something maybe foreboding on the horizon.
They have these hooded cowls
Yeah, in like
on.
matching gray cloaky outfits.
Oh, yes. They're all wearing matching
And it's a windy
cloaks.
day. You see their hair is all blowing in the wind.
Shall I tell you what I was thinking?
What was you
Yeah.
thinking?
So behind them are 3 mountain peaks, and this is the manifestation or the incarnation of the mountains.
Oh.
And so they're wearing the same colors, and they now are out mobile, doing things in the world on behalf of their true stone mountain selves.
So how much human are they?
Yeah.
Well, you tell me.
Well, I think they're all mountain, but the human is just like a visage so that we can like not freak out while we see their true
So are they
stone spirit
ageless?
form.
They look like this is forever.
Well, however old the mountain is.
Okay.
One of them was born first,
Ooh,
so one of them is older.
I love inter-mountain sibling bickering.
Okay. Here's my take. I'm going to take it another way. Okay, they are just 3 triplets, but they have found these 3 mountains that is such a like resonance with what they are. And so what they're doing here at this beach is they are working together to try to harness the wisdom and the power of the mountains in order to use that against their mortal enemies. They need to get stronger on a world like Vindication. There's a lot of threat happening, and so you better have some freaking magic if you're going to protect yourself. And so they're trying to harness that power from the mountain, and the wind that's coming through is evidence that it's working. They've harnessed some energy, and it's pulling into them right now.
I call the tall one.
The tall mountain.
Yeah.
I thought you were claiming a triplet. I was like, hold on, man. Those are drawings.
Let me just say, the tall mountain.
I was speaking as a triplet.
Yeah, there you were. I like them. I would love to be one of them.
Yep, I'm feeling this. Next.
Yes.
Oh, this is a cool
Okay,
one.
so this is Sidney the Undisciplined. In the foreground, we see a toddler holding a torch, walking away from a burning building that is 85 to 90% collapsed to the ground. We cannot see the expression on the child's face, but I can only imagine.
They are
joy.
holding the flame.
Right.
The building also is burnt to the degree that it has clearly been burning for like an hour, which means Sidney just stood and watched.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, this is my ode to every kid that I've seen at Target or the grocery store that the parents cannot control or provide any discipline for. And I had to vent it in a productive way, and that's what inspired this card.
So I'm a parent of a toddler that is this age, and literally yesterday we had experienced this level of meltdown at Chick-fil-A because we wouldn't let him play at the Chick-fil-A play place before eating his food. And if there was a match, he would have burned that Chick-fil-A to the ground.
So how dark is this? Because there is no other living being in this image. There is just the undisciplined tiny terror by themselves,
You know,
unafraid.
I want to empower this tiny terror because I think that if we actually looked at the strength and wildness in toddlers, and instead of trying to say, you're ruining my day, we're like, let's do something with this. Like, this is what would happen. So what would happen if people saw and honored a toddler and their power and was like, make havoc.
Take these
on
matches.
our enemies.
Let's burn down a village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Sidney is not only undisciplined, but an empowered undisciplined
Right. Where's the
person.
adult who's painting this image we're looking at?
Yeah, there's like an army behind.
That's the perspective.
There's a proud parent.
There's an enabler.
Yes, I think there is a general, and he's about to give Sidney a high five.
You know, the forts on Vindication have all these fires in the background. And when I was reading the lore book this morning, it was like, there are these very interesting, like, unknown fires in the hills. We don't know what's going on. We now know what's going on.
All
toddlers,
the
the
toddlers,
empowered
the toddlers of
toddlers.
the island
The countryside.
are. What I love about that is, like, it's a thing you discover as a parent that, like, so often we take kids and their emotions and we're like, oh, it's just a kid being a
Having
kid
a
and
meltdown.
having kid meltdown. It's like, but no, they're a human being and their emotions are exactly as real and valid and clear as adult
My
emotions.
therapist keeps
And-
telling me this. And I have not quite figured it out yet.
But like empowering and seeing their emotions is as real as your emotions.
Yes.
And if not more pure than your emotions, because yours have so much other crap fueling into them. I'm with you for this like island of empowered pyro children.
Yes.
As Mark intended.
All right, let's see what's next. This is fun. All right, what we got?
Okay, so this is a blue knowledge companion, Trader Elyas. He has a beautiful, thick, foot-long black beard,
huge.
a brown cloak. He is standing at a merchant's stand. He has a scale. He has lots of potions along the wall as well as on the counter for us. I can see on the shelf back there he even has mortars and pestles for sale. So he's not just making the potions, but he's empowering other people to make their own potions.
Interesting.
So I love that.
I get major like Burl Ives vibes from him, so I feel like he can really, really, really sing.
He brings it in the holidays.
Yeah, this guy's big on holidays.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's just look at him. He's
Moron.
just like
Every potion is the same
Making
color. So
stuff
how is
up.
he keep
like
This is his sister's trading post.
that's what I think.
He's like, she's went to lunch and I don't know anything.
That's
He's just
exactly it.
he's just here. He's
like
like,
look real serious.
I
and
don't even know how to
believe me.
run the cash register. I'm just here because my sister asked me to make sure nobody takes anything.
Look at him. He doesn't know all this
But
stuff.
he
in
has
front of
such a
him.
deep, resonant voice that people take him really seriously.
Yes. Does his best to figure it out, but
Mm-hmm.
like he's cute and endearing.
So will he or will he not screw everything up is really the question. Like, does this place explode in the next week?
I see
Or-
no labels and 50 bottles that are the same color. So yes, they will
Yeah.
all be screwed
Yeah,
up.
it's all- we're in trouble.
Definitely.
He's already broken several of them down on the ground. You can't see. He's
Tiptoeing
he doesn't have the
around back
dexterity.
But he
for the
doesn't seem
job.
nervous about it.
Yeah, I don't think he's
just
malicious
like,
at all.
he's chill with this situation.
Yeah.
He drank one of the potions already.
He's been sipping.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So we have Tik-Tik the Gleaming. This is a pet that is I would imagine dog-sized. What size am I looking at? I don't see any objects for size
Dogs
reference.
are different sizes, but yes.
Oh, good point. Thank you so much.
Stone for scale.
Okay, so double the size of a bowling ball. We have a small, cute rock golem that is definitely toddler proportions, body size. No mouth, which makes it extra cute. The eyes are slightly offset, and Tik-Tik, in his outstretched stone arm, is holding a beautiful blue blaze.
And is he holding it or is it emitting from him?
That's a great question.
I think it's emitting from
I-
him or
That's
her.
kind of what I meant. Yeah.
It's emitting from them.
By the way, that is spirit fire.
I was going to say, why does it look like spirit fire?
Because
Because it is.
Dun dun dun.
Love the Blue Blazes plug, though. That was good.
Yeah, no problem.
Go on.
Tik-Tik is the offspring of Tuk-Tuk. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so
Tik-Tik's child would be Tik-Tik.
here is my theory that this parentage is not normal in that Tuk-Tuk did not find a rock partner, but rather during the days of the ancients when Ronak turned on them, maybe they tried to awaken Tuk-Tuk to stop the destruction of their civilization. But in the process of that very first time that Ronak and Tuk-Tuk came together, Ronak knocked a piece of Tuk-Tuk off. And that piece had spirit fire flow into it and gain sentience. And
That's fun.
Ooh, I
because
like that.
there is actually some very minor lore with Tik-Tik because he was introduced in an expansion with the solo stuff where the story focuses a lot on the magic is coming back to the island in this spirit fire form, and that's sort of like Tik-Tik is almost the I don't want to say like the harbinger of it, but is kind of like going out ahead of it and is the caller that it's coming.
Harbinger.
Yeah. It's very loose, but like he's associated with the returning of the magic. Like he isn't without that.
He's the conduit for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that's kind of like him being a fragment of this former part of the island that is kind of is very cool. I like that a lot.
It's curious what role the Stone Whisperer had.
That's what I was gonna say. The Stone Whisperer.
Do it.
First of all, I got a little dark because I was like, we don't know who the father is, but Stone Whisperer, it could be possible. Anyway, but what if the Stone Whisperer? Okay, let's say Tik-Tik is some sort of adolescent stone. Does that mean that like the stones can turn into a Tik-Tik eventually?
Could there be more Tik-Tiks?
Yeah. So does the Stone Whisperer like go out and look and find the ones that could be imbued with spirit fire and put them into a place where they could?
Is he the harbinger of the harbingers?
Yes. Is he like best suit? Is he like the nanny?
Flame
I
touched.
say, what
He's
if?
the nanny, rock nanny.
I was just saying, what if he like heard the prophecy or something to know that Tik-Tik was gonna come, and so he's been picking up every rock and whispering it, trying to see
Yeah.
like which
I
one
like
is
that.
Tik-Tik.
Yeah. That was good.
All right, so the next card is an orange monster card. It is the Custodian of the Inner Tomb. So here in the foreground, for scale, we have an adventurer, small, holding a torch. And in the deepest part of the image, we can see in this cave a ginormous skeletal but also kind of furry beast looking
looks
very
like a
scary,
spider.
I get spider
piercing
vibes.
red eyes,
Yep.
definitely spider in the limb orientation, but lots of the limbs are occluded because we are looking at this thing through what appears to be a window into a larger cavern.
Yeah,
in
we
the
don't know
cave.
fully how big
Y'all,
he
is that the Tiny Terror's big brother
Wow.
with the flame?
Or the person who's telling the Tiny Terror, go on.
Because it just doesn't look
Do it.
that much bigger than Sidney, the Tiny Terror.
Oh, you mean the person?
yes, the
Oh,
person
I see. Interesting.
going into the maw.
How fun that because I've never paid any attention to the person.
Yeah.
My only thought to that is that anyone who's mobilizing children is going to have them do it. A la Fagin from Oliver. It's like he's going to send the kids out.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
this should be a bunch of children fighting the monster. Yeah.
That's a great point.
What's
Sorry.
in the inner tomb?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of stalagmites on the ground that have blood on them. So, like, is
Oh.
that blood from other adventurers, or is that the monster's blood from like forcing its body through these
or
cramped
from
places?
trying to get out repeatedly, but he can't.
Oh, nice.
So it's actually stuck in the tomb.
I'm
Maybe
forced
it's
to clean
tomb.
the tomb.
Forced custodian of the inner tomb.
I've tried to leave, but it's too sharp.
And that's why the kid's not afraid to be in there, because no matter what happens, the custodian can't come out.
There's something
so-
about the custodian that looks colossally old to me. I mean,
Yes.
it's just the obvious like old furry whiteness of its face and the like gross long teeth, but it has very like I've been here forever vibes.
Yes. Not fresh.
Yes, it's very very old. I feel like it's probably really racist.
Just like every custodian getting unneeded crap from the children walking by.
Yes.
I took this job 65 years ago, and I'm still here.
He looked really young then. He
Yeah.
was
Really happy to be
all
there. Could even
fit. His
could
eyes
nimble
weren't even
through.
red.
Maybe he could even nimble through the.
When I read the terms on the Necromancer's Summoner Agreement, I didn't realize I'd be here forever.
This was once a really young fit spider that, was the
It looks like a bat to me.
bat
Oh
spider.
my gosh! It could be a bat.
Oh, I see bat now.
There's-
Bat's actually way closer. With like
Oh.
exposed rib cage bat with fur face.
Yeah, because the ears on it look kind of bat-like.
Yeah.
So what's in this inner tomb and why is he custodian in it?
Yeah. What's in the tomb?
You got to clean up the bodies.
His body's got to go somewhere.
I mean, like all the companions that are dying in the tomb,
Okay,
their
okay.
bodies got to go somewhere.
So there's a royal bat family that lives in there, and this is the custodian of the royal bat family's tomb.
It could be that it's his own tomb, and he's the custodian of his own tomb. So he's
that's
taking
sad.
care of
That
it until he
sucks.
dies.
It's like, guard your tomb forever.
What a horrible life.
Your teeth will never stop growing. What must his nails look like?
They're protruding from the ground
That's
as
what
stalagmites.
those bloody stalactites are. Those are his nails coming up through the ground because there's not enough room in there for them anymore.
This is why I never fight monsters in Vindication. It's just like too sad. What hurt him? What made him look how angry and sad he is? I
Being
don't
locked
wanna
in the
deal with
freaking
that.
tomb forever.
Yeah, that
hurt you?
sucks.
Who hurt you?
That's what makes monsters. Locking things in tombs. Let it be free. and see what happens. It won't
Yeah,
be a
let that
monster
guy
card
out.
anymore.
Yeah, Mark, why did you create this place for all these monsters to go?
Imagine how much better he would be if he was just roaming the countryside.
Yeah.
It could have been the happiest place in the world, filled with wondrous things, and it just ends up being his tomb.
I'm just sad about it. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad. I don't like this existence for this creature.
Remember, though, he's very racist, and so it's okay.
Isolated, doesn't get
I
any
reject
input.
that. I reject that.
All right, move us on. I'm sad.
Here we go.
What the heck?
The next card that we're looking at is a white pet card. This is Minka the Fungal Doppelganger. So we have a mushroom that is white and blue frosted in the flesh, and the gills underneath the cap are frosty white and light blue glowing. The cap is conical, coming to a nice pointed umbo. A point of order is that there is a different fungal morphology on the arms of this mushroom, in that we have on the body a normal cap, but the arms appear to be blue oyster mushrooms.
Are there eyeballs?
How many eyes does this mushroom
Oh,
have?
this
see
mushroom
4.
has foresight.
Ha! I see 4 eyeballs.
It also has like a whale-like chin. It's got
Some baleen.
well described, man. I like the word frosted.
Yeah, me too.
And you used many good words right now, but frosted for some reason
That's the one stuck out to
with
you.
me. Yeah. All right. 4-eyed, whale-faced glow shroom with 4 oyster arms.
You know what I think it can see with those eyes?
What can it see
I
with
think it
those
can
eyes?
see the intent of your heart.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Seriously, you walk by and that thing's like, it knows. It knows that trader, that not a traitor, but the trader,
Trader
the
Elyas.
merchant.
Uh-huh.
It knows
Elyas.
that he's got imposter syndrome big time. You know, you walk by and this thing can just point out right away, and it makes you feel whatever's the intent.
I
of
feel
your
like
heart.
Trader Elyas or Elyas should have imposter syndrome, but doesn't, and
That's a good
probably
point.
needs to get a little more uncomfortable with his situation.
That's a good
I
point.
feel like the fact that we've got multiple different types of mushrooms as part of Minka's biology implies that they can like reform, making like different fungal growths depending on the situation. I mean, they are a doppelganger.
Yeah, what are
and
they
so-
doppelganging?
Exactly.
what are
What
they?
if they're reading your heart and transforming themselves into a thing that would be like more receptive to you hearing their lesson?
It's showing you what it sees in you.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it can see into your heart. It's like, this is what that looks like to me.
How does it
Yes.
show you? Like you just experience it?
Yeah, does it happen in your mind's eye? Must you consume a little
I was going to say,
bit?
what happens if you ate them?
Maybe it grows those extra things for you to eat, and when you eat it, it will, help you process through.
Like an alien, and then it just bursts out of you, comes out of your
Aw,
chest.
I don't like
And,
that.
well, it has to live
Well,
on.
It'll burst out of you as
don't-
evangelism for other people to bite the mushroom.
There we go.
It'll burst
the
out of your
mushroom of
words.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you eat Minka pizza, you become a fungal evangelist.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I think you're better off every time. I think
You
that,
are. I think you're right about that.
I mean, because look at the blue glowing nature of Minka. Like, there is nothing bad that will happen.
I get the sense that Minka would help you process your trauma.
I really think so. And the custodian deserves it.
Right.
Feed
somebody
Minka
should
to the
bring-
custodian.
Feed
The custodian. Somebody should bring it. See what happens.
Would it change the color of the custodian's eyes
Yes.
to this beautiful
Of
blue?
course it would.
I knew it.
For a time.
I knew it.
Why
For a
wouldn't
time.
it?
While processing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
And then they'd go back to their natural black. I feel like the custodian, if they didn't have so much going on,
Yeah.
would just have like black shark eyes.
Yeah,
And
not
that
the
would,
red
and not the like
piercing.
terrible red. Mm-hmm.
That just makes me so sad.
But while being cleansed of his trauma,
Mm-hmm.
they would be this beautiful blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Minka pizza. What else could we make with Minka?
So much.
Stuffed Minka?
You can imitate shredded chicken by tearing down
Oh,
the gills.
that's a great idea. Minka jerky
I don't
for
know
your
if
travels.
How would that feel for Minka?
Well, I think that's why Minka has these extra growing parts. It
Minka-
grows it for that.
Mushrooms are just the fruit. The actual like being
Oh, is
lives
in the
underground.
network.
And so I'm sure
Hey.
Minka's very grateful that we helped proliferate the spores.
See?
So Minka is in fact the like mycelium empire that exists.
Uh-huh.
Surely.
Surely.
Love it. Love it.
Is that what tigers say about us? We're just the fruit.
I love that. Speaking of fruit, into the pot. So the next card that we're looking at is a yellow inspiration companion called the Stewmaster. We have a gentleman in a beautiful
Is it for
brown.
sure gentleman?
I was
it
getting
could be.
gentleman.
But the hood,
Unknown.
You never know.
We have an individual kneeling in the snow with a beautiful brown cloak with gold or silver trimming in a snowy landscape with a bonfire and a stove over top of the fire.
Do they have a pipe?
Stirring something. Oh, and they are definitely smoking a little pipe.
They're elderly and quite rotund.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a name. They are the Stewmaster. That no name at all.
He's got a little herb in the pocket there too.
Oh, what is
look at
that?
that. There is
a
an
bit of
herb.
green peeking out there.
I do.
Yeah,
Which
I mean
is
it gets a little desolate out in the
I was gonna say, in that snowy nature, that must be a an herb that they've cultivated and dried and saved
exactly.
and brought, as
They dried
opposed to
it.
something they picked.
And it's not in the pot,
Yeah.
but it is in hand.
Maybe they're in the act of. Speaking of which,
Or maybe that's what's in the pipe.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
What if you ash the pipe into the pot for extra spice?
I'm sure that happens. Yeah.
Okay, what's the Stewmaster making today?
Yes, and why and for who? Because that's a big old pot for
and
one
there's
Stewmaster.
Yeah, there's not a lot happening. They're in the desolate area there.
Who
They're
goes
not
to
in
the
a
frickin'
town.
middle of nowhere and makes a big pot of stew?
Exactly.
I think the only reason the Custodian is alive is because the Stewmaster brings stew to it every day, just because it feels sorry for him.
Nice callback.
So is it like dumping it down some crevice somewhere and it goes down to...
It's not afraid of it. They have a cool relationship. It just walks in. And it's like,
So the
hey,
mouth
Carl,
of that cave is
here's
near
your
here.
stew for today.
What if that person in the picture is taking the order?
It's true.
Taking
Yeah.
the Custodian's
I can
order
see
and
that.
bringing it back to the Stewmaster.
It's like DoorDash. Yeah.
Cave dash.
Cave Dash. Yeah, it's a Cave Dash. Cave Dash guy. What were you going to say, Jared? And how does it relate to... How do you yes and into this?
Well, I had a different idea. You guys' idea is great and complete, and I couldn't touch it or make it better. I would only make it worse. Alternate idea: where else to sell hot soup than the tundra? And so
Smart.
this is an entrepreneur,
Smart
obviously.
businessman. Yeah.
The need is great.
I could see it.
What could they be stewing that isn't food related at all?
Ooh.
Though I'm pretty into the Cave Dash plan.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, all my ideas are just boring right now, just like some sort of medicinal reduction where it's like, oh, now I've got this sap paste I can rub on my body and heal.
Maybe it's little bits of hair from all of the toddler children stewed here
Go on.
together
Whoa.
to make a power potion. Like harness the power of tantrums
Mm-hmm.
for like elixir that you can take and then
Drink up, my children.
This got very dark very
I
quickly.
said hair of the children. I didn't say you can cut a piece of hair without it being a problem.
Children are fine with it. I
Yeah.
take hair from children all the time, and they have no problem.
Got a drawer of hair next to my bed. Don't ask
Yeah.
any questions.
Yeah, it's fine. That's normal.
And ashes.
It's not teeth.
I have teeth there too.
Do you save your kids' teeth?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're in a drawer with their ponytails that have been cut off and my grandma's ashes. Right. It's fine.
One more object and something will get summoned.
And someday you're going to make a stew.
I actually got a little red saying that out loud. It's fine.
It's
It's
fine.
just very private detail of my life. It's fine.
Justin's just like, and disconnect.
Cut.
All right, so the next card that we have is a trader companion from the Blue Knowledge stack. We have Azin, the Swollen Mind. We have a
Gross.
what appears to be some sort of bearded individual, nice gray beard, standing in a room that has some nice gold columns and white and gray swirly patterns along the wall. He is in a brown and tan cloak with some really stylish straps and belts, and his hood comes to a conish canonical point, holding a nice staff, arms outstretched. There appears to be some sort of dove coming in to land on his arm.
So my initial things with this is, first of all, it's a treacherous card. Their subtitle is Plagiarizer. And they appear to be like, I get major like clerical like like church clerical vibes from them.
Yeah, in the background.
They're holding is that a scale? One part of a scale in their left hand?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It does look like that.
All right.
It could be a scale. It looks like also something that burning incense sits in
Oh, I
sometimes.
can
Oh,
see that.
okay.
A sensor.
That
And a
makes
big
sense with
staff
the
in the
whole
other
like
hand.
church aspect of it, like they're smudging the room.
Or a political figure.
I heard you almost make a voice. I wanted to hear what's coming out of that.
I was just gonna say, this is the place where the bird poops when it lands on my arm.
All right, so you have a tray of a trough of bird poo that he waves around as it smokes. Maybe this is more about the birds and why their poo smokes like incense.
Okay. I think that
we huff bird poo here.
I think that this person has the ability to like make people see things. Okay, so their swollen mind has some power that has the ability to make you see things that aren't there. So I don't actually think that bird is really there. I think that's where some of the plagiarizing
I was
comes
going to say,
from.
what's the plagiarism?
Is that it can kind of take from other things, and so if it's seen this bird before, it can have that bird look like it's there to you.
To what end? To some
don't
sort
know.
of like political machinations?
I don't know yet. I don't know. And why the bird? The bird seems important. It's like illuminated a little
And
bit.
why the walking stick in this fancy building?
It's got power.
It must. Or they're drunk.
Need help walking. I mean, their outfit does seem like it's a little bit twirly at the bottom. Like
I think it looks like they just did like a big like sachet
Yes.
thingy to like spin their robe out a little bit.
Could be
like
a
my daughter
chaîné.
would. Thank you. Like my daughter would spin so that her dress does the
Yes.
thing. I feel like that just happened. And it startled the doves.
the actual doves.
I feel like one angle that it could go is like his organization has stumbled upon some source of actual power, and that they're now co-opting it and saying like our organization or religion or whatever is the source / only means of controlling this power, and so give us
So like if you want access
Money.
to this power, we're the only door to this power.
yes, come kiss the ring.
Now, this is important. It doesn't say the growing mind or the huge mind. It says the swollen mind. And swelling
Gross.
usually comes from like an infection or an injury. Like we don't say swollen when we're saying this person's so smart.
His mind's so swole.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I
there is that.
You know, I knew it was coming at some
Swole
point.
had to happen at
There
some
is
point.
that too.
It feels like to me that, to Jared's point, they've stumbled across some, let's just even say wisdom that they are not accredited to, but they start to accredit themselves to because they are the conduit to it for other people, and start to think very highly of themselves. And so their ego is the swollen mind part.
You know why they have the walking stick? Because they're dizzy. How could you even
Oh, because their mind is
stand?
so swole.
How
with-
could you even stand with top heavy like that? You need to walk. You're spinning around,
All right, so
rustling the
here's,
doves.
so to those ends, what's it look like if they take that hood down?
Oh, it's ugly,
Oh boy.
don't you think? There is not like hair evenly covering that swollen mind.
I think it's all a facade. I think that the hood has some sort of like plastic or like structure or twine or something built into it. So like you pull it off and it's like you actually have just normal sized head, but part of your religious doctrine said that you get a swole head when you learn the knowledge.
and you're faking that. You're faking that right
Fake
now.
swole.
Like SpongeBob when they put on that that outfit that makes them look all swole. Anchor arms.
Thank you, anchor arms.
Yes. Mark, you ever watch SpongeBob?
No.
I didn't.
But when I was a kid, we used to watch The Incredible Hulk, and they made these inflatable biceps that you could strap
Just like
around your
that.
arms.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was cool. They also had the $6 Million Man was like super strong, and they used to do stuff like that.
All right, last one.
Here we go. We have a pet card that is simply labeled a single gear. And we have sitting on a grassy patch of dirt and earth a stone cog that is not attached to any machine, but around the hole where a shaft would go through this cog, there has been painted in either blood or some sort of coral-colored paint a smiley face, akin to Wilson the volleyball.
Yeah, it is kind of like that, isn't it? Who the heck came up with this idea?
I did.
You did?
Yes. Thank you.
It's just laying on the ground. Where did that gear even come from?
I don't know, but I was mixed on this idea until the title is Single Gear, and that really brought it home for me, because that's freaking funny.
What kind of machines we got on Vindication?
Well,
that this gear
this
comes
was
from?
part of a promo pack that had a bunch of stone gear automatons and other robotic-esque things that came out of the ancient tomb. Yes.
All right, so there is this gear that someone or something has for some reason put a face on.
So does it have any sort of personification, or is it just the gear? Can it talk to you in your mind? Does it get up on its own?
Well, I feel like it has a face, and so it immediately, to me, it's got feelings. It's got thoughts about things.
I think if you're alone in a room long enough with it, you'll start to hear it talk in your mind.
You leave me a week on an island, and Wilson is real to me.
Right.
I think what's happened is the contraption or the automaton was completely obliterated, but this is the relentless positivity part. And it's just like, you know what? I still got this. I'm okay. Like, no matter what happens, I'm going to think of the bright side.
As it,
And
like, can
even
roll
though
around.
like everything else has just been like melted into a pot and just like reconstituted into other things, people are just, like the end is coming. But to the very end, the single gear is going to be the shining light in the world that basically says, no matter what happens, I control me.
So is it like toxically positive, or is it just like oblivious, like to how doomed it is?
It's programmed.
I think before it became a gear, it was in the rock garden, and it received years of whispering.
Of stone whispering.
Nurturing.
Yes.
And then it was turned into this gear, but it still
It
feels
remembers all its lessons.
it feels all the love of the stone whispering.
Yes.
My story about this gear is totally based on what someone like me would do in this world, which is go and explore the ancient tomb by themselves, get lost, get stuck, find themselves in some room with some crazy automaton, barely survive by dismantling the automaton, but now I'm stuck in this room. And so
And you're like, this gear
all I've got is me, this gear, and my blood. And so I'm going to make a friend.
So you marry the gear, and
Oh, no.
We're going to die here, but at least we'll be together.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about the thoughts that I'm having now.
Nope, me neither.
wow. Me too.
All right, so thanks for coming to the Outpost today. Which of these cards was the one that inspired your ideas the most?
Yeah, which was the most invigorating? Was it the single gear? Don't tell us in the comments.
Which of our ideas was the worst? I'd like to know that.
Was it the single gear?
Okay, thanks for coming to the Outpost today. If you wanted to talk to us more, you have ideas for us to talk about, go to orangenebula.com/Discord. Join the conversation there.
Should we do this again?
Should we
was
do this
a
again?
good format?
Yeah. And if we should, what should we do next? What IP should we do next? What should we be talking about? All right, I gotta go.
Okay. Goodbye.
See y'all
Bye.
later. Bye.
Your battery's running low, Justin.
Justin,
Battery's
your
low,
computer
Justin.
battery's running low. How much water have you had? Dipwad, drink some water. I made the right choice to. I got a bigger coffee today because I wanted just a constant
For Zane
drip
and-
flow.
yeah.
I did the same thing.
Did you?
I did. I did.
It's like we gotta have the creativity flowing here.
I'm just like,
Next.
I like
Finish it.
goodbye. I was gonna say I like blown. Opportunity blown.
No, don't let.
Well, would you like me to start again?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just down tempo. It's chill, which I think is great. And
I could feel it coming, and I was like,
And you're
"This is
like,
gonna
wait,
be perfect timing."
wait. This is gonna be perfect.
It's okay. It's fun to blow up his opportunities. I enjoy it sometimes.
Do whatever you want all the time.
We're too good at it, though. I wonder sometimes.
What are we doing here today?
We chose this life.
What are we doing?
I would choose nothing else.
I'm gonna lose it
That's-
today. What is
Please
happening
delete the
to me?
blasphemy from this podcast.
What is happening to me today? This is gonna be rough.
Just let it be. It's funny.